on a Friday, wherever you may be and however you may be listening, live in Los Angeles, iHeartRadio, Fox Sports Radio, and FS1. Joy Taylor is joining me in 1 hour from now. Blazing 5, including my bet of the year.
Bet of the year?
My strongest feeling of the year in one of the biggest games. That's the Blazing 5, which last week was an ugly 2-3, our first losing week. But the numbers are great. I love it. It's great to be here on a Friday. I got thoughts on the World Series, why I'm rooting for the Dodgers, not because I'm in L.A. I love Washington over Dallas this weekend. Let me start with this. Let's just start with the story of the day. LeBron debuted, number one basketball player in the world last decade. Debuted last night for the number one brand in the NBA. It is not the Warriors, but the Los Angeles Lakers, and I watched that puppy. By the way, LeBron lost. He's lost all 4 of his debuts in the NBA. He lost as a high schooler to Cleveland, and then he lost his first game in Miami, and he went back to Cleveland. He lost that one. And so, with a lot better players that he's got now, and he lost last night in Portland. So, and by the way, and those seasons all ended up, they ended up as a playoff team, and I still think they'll win 47, 48 games. Listen, there's a lot of things in life that are hard. Calculus is hard. Algebra is hard. Traveling sometimes can be hard. Here's what's easy. Be nice to people. You'll make friends. It'll lubricate life. Don't outthink the room on this. The Lakers don't have enough shooters, and that is not going to change one iota all season. Okay? This is an easy one. What you watched last night's what you're going to watch a lot. Now, they'll be better at home. They'll shoot better at home, and the chemistry is really rough, so this team's going to be way better than you saw last night, and they were in this game late. But I said this 2 weeks ago on the show, and it's not like I'm, Copperfield here. David Blaine, I can read your mind. I said this 2 weeks ago. It is very obvious the Lakers were 29th in three-point shooting last year and didn't bring in any more great shooters. In fact, the guys they had brought in, JaVale McGee, Rondo, and Lance Stevenson, 3 for 3 can't shoot. That's what LeBron's going to need for Brandon Ingram, because he's not getting it from Rondo, and he's not getting it from Lance, and he's not getting it from JaVale, and he's not getting it from KCP, and he's not getting it from Lonzo Ball. This team has some strengths, but it's going to be LeBron and Brandon Ingram. Okay, and those are the 2 best players last night were LeBron, Brandon Ingram, and then Rondo. And by the way, so that's the team. And it's not a championship team. But they'll be better at home. But their big issue, folks, it's 2018. The Golden State Warriors have the 3 best shooters arguably in the history of basketball. They're the current dynasty. The only real challenger, in my opinion, is Boston, who has 3 great shooters, though not as good as Clay, Steph, and KD. And then Houston's got a bunch of guys who shoot mid-range jumpers so they can get close, but they won't beat them. That's what we have right now in the NBA. The Philadelphia Sixers have 2 unbelievable talents. Neither can shoot a 3, Simmons or Embiid, so they're not going to win the championship. In the NFL right now, you can have Jacksonville's defense, not winning a Super Bowl with Blake Bortles. You can have Cincinnati's defense. You're not winning a Super Bowl with Andy Dalton. I don't care what Miami's doing. They're not winning a Super Bowl with Ryan Tannehill. In 2018 in the NFL, all the rules are to help the quarterback. I don't care how good your defense is. Blake Bortles can't win a Super Bowl. I don't care if you do everything right. You can't win a championship with this Laker roster. By the way, Luke Walton knew this. Magic Johnson knows this. They knew this. They've told everybody this. That's why they went out and got tough guys, because that's what was on the market. Rondo's a tough guy, can't shoot, get him. Lance Stephenson's a tough guy, can't shoot, get him. JaVale McGee can block shots and dunk, can't shoot, get him. This is why they created this roster, because they knew the market did not have any great shooters available, or at least ones that they wanted. So Kenny Smith and Charles were arguing about this last night, but this is not calculus. This is be nice to people. It's an easy one. Here they were last night.
You're saying I don't look at any of these guys as great shooters.
None of them.
In today's NBA, you got to shoot 3s.
You could space the floor and guys who.
But when he was in Cleveland the first time, he didn't have a lot of shooters.
That's why he left.
Yeah, but they went to the finals.
And they got swept.
Okay, there it is. Now, there are good things. They got 10 guys that can play. They have a very good second team. Josh Hart is surprisingly good. He's going to be a great player, 15 points off the bench. Tough, can shoot a little bit. And Brandon Ingram looks like he's better, although Kuzma looks like he's regressed. And Lonzo's going to get better because he had surgery. And so Lonzo's not in playing shape. He's on restriction minutes. Don't freak out about that, although I still don't know how much playing time he's going to get because it looks like Rondo and LeBron are coaching the team. In fact, Rondo's arguing with the refs during timeouts. He's not listening to coaching. So there's some good things, though. They got young, hardworking players. They're all going to get better. They'll play better than last night at home. Give them 20 games in chemistry. But don't outthink the room here. This is an easy one. You can't win big in the NBA. You can win 47 games. You're not going to win big if you don't have shooters, and they don't have enough of them. All right, so let's switch to football, and there'll be more on this, Joy Taylor, in 15 minutes. Changes will be made in Arizona. Last night, Josh Rosen, I told everybody, watch Josh Rosen. He's a rookie quarterback, and he was not great. And so what you saw last night was a rookie quarterback behind a bad offensive line against the great pass rush, and he got the you-know-what kicked out of him. But you know what I really noticed? And I noticed it very quickly in that football game was not Josh Rosen. I noticed the first or second best pass rusher in the NFL, Von Miller, going for a strip sack. Did it twice. By the way, Von Miller bulldozed a 300-pound offensive lineman. He could have been violent on Josh Rosen, but he chose to strip sack. By the way, that was one of Lawrence Taylor's specialties, the greatest defensive player of all time. Folks, declining people always complain about new stuff, new rules, new legislation. Talented people adjust and use it as an advantage. Years ago, Mike Krzyzewski almost went old crotchety man. He's the coach at Duke. The one and done came out, and Mike Krzyzewski fought it for 2 years. Hey, I don't like this new change among the kids. And then Mike Krzyzewski went, wait, I'm smart, not an old meathead. And Coach K shifted, and now they have the best one and done system in the country along with Duke. That's what non-meatheads do. They evolve. Do you ever hear a comedian say, man, you can't tell the old jokes you used to? Yeah, you mean the racist ones? No, you can't. Do new stuff. The great comedians adapt. I go to YouTube all the time looking for new comedians. There are thousands of hysterical people, men and women in this country. But if you can't get past your 1980s jokes, you're not going to be great. Adjust. Don't be a meathead. Coach K at Duke almost went meathead. Von Miller, strip sacks. And by the way, this is what it's a burn. If you ever hung out with somebody and all they do is complain about the new stuff, get rid of them. It wears on your life. Von Miller destroyed a 300-pound lineman. He could have done far more damage to Josh Rosen. He didn't. He went after the football. Lawrence Taylor went after the football. In fact, Lawrence Taylor was one of the first guys that ever did it. Lawrence Taylor could be decimating, but Lawrence Taylor would go for the ball. He wanted possession. He wanted a touchdown himself. And Khalil Mack goes for the football. So that's what jumped out to me. Yeah, Josh Rosen was not good. Don't go too crazy on that. This is a bad O-line, a ridiculously conservative offensive coordinator, and a rookie defensive head coach. But the top defensive players in this league, none. By the way, I'm just going to throw this at you. Of the top defensive players in this league, J.J. Watt, Von Miller, Fletcher Cox, and Khalil Mack, those are the four best pass rushers in the National Football League. None of them have a roughing penalty. None of them. Because Von Miller and J.J. Watt and Khalil Mack and Fletcher Cox are talented, and talented people adjust, and they use what appears to be a negative, one and done, Coach K, into a positive. One and done. Coach K's killing it. That's what I noticed last night. So we are packed today. Absolutely packed today. Washington is going to beat Dallas. It all lines up, and I can't believe more people haven't seen it. Blazing 5 in 30 minutes. Steven Jackson stops by. Sean Merriman. We had a loaded show. And in 40 minutes, a little less than 40 minutes, a little more than 40 minutes, excuse me, the Blazing 5. Best pick of the year. My strongest pick of the year. Coming up next. The NFL is mostly about teams we all know are good, about 8 of them, 10 of them, and we all know are weak to bad, 15 of them. There's one exception. There is one exception, and they're good, and we don't realize they're good, and we don't call them good, and they are good, and they're going to beat your team this weekend. That is coming up. Plus, yes, I'm rooting for the Dodgers. I'll tell you why. Folks, Simply Safe Home Security. Kids got robbed in college, didn't have the money to buy a security system, created their own. Now it's worth over $1 billion. 5 guys working together. Now protects over 2 million people. Simply Safe is comprehensive protection for your home with police dispatch and round-the-clock professional monitoring. Intruders, fires, leaks, burst pipes, still works. Downed Wi-Fi, power outages, burglar smashes your keypad, still works. It's intuitive, takes minutes to set up. Simply Safe has no contracts or hidden fees. 24/7 monitoring, $14.99 a month. CNET and the Wirecutter magazine call it their top home security. Protect your home, family, assets. Real simple. SimplySafeColin.com. SimplySafeColin.com.
Nothing means more to me than this game. I wish things were different, but it weren't us who changed.